Somebody walked out to confront him. It's all on video. When the guy hits the ground, he's got a loaded gun that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. We consider that to be self-defense.
From 2020 to now, K-Flock has been skyrocketing through the music scene. The Bronx got itself a new prince, and he was gunning for the throne left behind by Pop Smoke. Clock had that magic cadence, emotions that hit harder than Monday mornings, bars, and a flow smoother than butter on a hot summer day. He was becoming a drill maestro, but, and there's always a but in these stories, his street habits stuck to him like a piece of gum.
2 teenagers are facing attempted charges for a shooting at a Bronx barber shop.
Now, and racketeering charges stand between him and the throne. In this video, we'll explore whether or not K-Flock is gone forever and how his tragic fate hit him. In December 2021, K-Flock found himself at the center of a legal firestorm. The young artist had been indicted on federal and racketeering charges that carry the weight of a potential life sentence or even death. The indictment outlines the allegations against K-Flock, including not only his name, but also the names of 8 other defendants. These individuals are believed to be members of the notorious Side and Third Side gangs, both based in the South Bronx. The charges they face are grave, stemming from a series of 7 shootings that occurred between June 2020 and February 2022.
2 teenagers are facing attempted charges for a shooting at a Bronx barber shop. Police say the shooting happened inside a shop on East Gun Hill Road around 6:45 October 22nd. Surveillance video shows the suspect walk into the shop and fire at a guy sitting in a barber chair near the door. The victim was hit in the stomach but was stable when they got to the hospital.
The Department of Justice is working hard to bring charges against K-Flock and his associates for their roles in the widespread gun violence in the Bronx and Manhattan. The charges include racketeering, and other serious offenses, portraying a troubling picture of a life filled with violence and crime. The charges against K-Flock and others are especially serious, considering the tragic shootings that have affected families and communities. The Department of Justice is determined to hold them accountable, seeking justice for the victims and aiming to bring back safety and peace to the affected neighborhoods. While 6 of the defendants are already in custody, 2 remain at large, their whereabouts unknown. Authorities are actively pursuing these fugitives, leaving no stone unturned in their quest for justice. Amidst the chaos surrounding K-Flock's current legal battle, it is important to revisit the events that led him to this point. The rapper was already behind bars awaiting trial for of alleged gang member Oscar Hernandez when the FBI took over the case. The charge against K-Flock stems from a tragic incident that unfolded in 2021. Surveillance footage captured the chilling moments that would ultimately seal his fate. In the video, K-Flock and an associate can be seen strolling casually past a barbershop, unaware of the impending tragedy. Suddenly, Hernandez emerges from the shop, his eyes locked on the rapper. A tense exchange ensues, and within seconds, gunshots ring out. Hernandez falls to the ground, multiple wounds inflicted upon him. The footage became a key piece of evidence in the case against K-Flock. It painted a damning picture, contradicting his claims of self-defense and leaving many questioning the motives behind the fatal encounter. With the FBI's involvement, the case took on a new level of intensity. The decision to transfer K-Flock to a federal facility was a clear indication that the stakes had been raised, and the rapper now faced a battle on a whole new front. It meant that the case would be handled at a higher level, with federal taking the reins. This change had a significant impact, as federal charges usually mean tougher consequences and a higher chance of being found guilty. Now, K-Flock faces the serious power of the federal justice system, making his future uncertain and pressing him to build a strong defense quickly. As Clock's trial approaches, the big question is whether he's guilty or not. Will the evidence convince the jury, or can the defense make them doubt the case? The answers will decide what happens to K-Flock.
The first count, he's charged with the second degree. The second degree was one of the most significant crimes in New York State and just about any other state. It is called an A1 felony, and you could very likely get a life sentence if you're convicted. And even if you don't get a life sentence, there's a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 to 40 years. It's called indeterminate sentencing.
Despite facing legal troubles, K-Flock remains a rising star. His music and the support of his fans have contributed to his continued popularity, defying expectations even while he is in jail, awaiting the outcome of his legal battles. Born Kevin Perez on April 20th, 2003, K-Flock grew up in a neighborhood not known for producing drill artists. However, he defied the odds and carved his own path in the industry. In May 2020, K-Flock decided to take his first steps into the world of music. With a burning desire to express himself through his art, he began experimenting with different genres and styles. He drew inspiration from a wide range of musical influences, including gangsta rap, UK drill, sample drill, and East Coast hip-hop. This eclectic mix of influences would later become the foundation of his unique sound. K-Flock's early career was marked by a relentless pursuit of perfection. He spent countless hours honing his craft, perfecting his flow, and refining his lyrical prowess. It was during this time that he caught the attention of industry insiders and fellow artists who recognized his undeniable talent. One of the defining moments in K-Flock's early career came with the release of his debut song, FTO, in 2020. The track showcased his raw talent and served as a powerful introduction to his unique style. The song quickly gained traction, garnering attention from music enthusiasts and industry professionals alike. As K-Flock's popularity grew, so did his collaborations with notable artists in the industry. He had the opportunity to work with some of the biggest names in hip-hop, further solidifying his position as a rising star. These collaborations not only showcased his versatility as an artist, but also provided him with invaluable experience and exposure. However, it was K-Flock's ability to incorporate different samples into his music that truly set him apart. One standout track that exemplifies this is Being Honest, which features a sample from the late XXXTentacion. The addition of this sample added new layers to the nature of drill music, creating a unique listening experience. Despite his young age, K-Flock's music resonated with audiences of all backgrounds. His ability to maintain the essence of drill, while also appealing to a wider audience, is a testament to his versatility as an artist. Tracks like Upspotter showcased his ability to deliver hard-hitting lyrics while still creating a sound that was accessible and relatable. One of K-Flock's most notable achievements was his signing with Universal Music Group's record label, Capitol Records, in 2021. This major milestone in his career opened doors to even greater opportunities and solidified his status as a rising star. With the support of a major record label, K-Flock's music reached a wider audience, further propelling him into the spotlight. The rapper's debut project, the DOA tape, released in November 2021, was an instant hit, capturing the attention of music enthusiasts and industry insiders alike. The album's raw and unfiltered lyrics resonated with listeners, offering a glimpse into the harsh realities of life in the Bronx. It quickly climbed the charts, reaching the coveted #1 spot on Billboard's Heat Seekers album chart, a remarkable achievement for a young artist. But K-Flock didn't stop there. In December 2022, he released his sophomore project, the DOA tape, further solidifying his presence in the music industry. The album showcased his growth as an artist, delving deeper into his personal experiences and showcasing his lyrical prowess. One of the standout tracks from the album, Shake It, featuring Cardi B, Doug B, and Boar 300, catapulted K-Flock onto the prestigious Billboard Hot 100. It was a moment of triumph for the young rapper, a validation of his talent. But how does an artist achieve such success while confined within the walls of a prison cell? The answer lies in the power of social media and the unwavering support of his fan base. K-Flock's music, raw and authentic, struck a chord with listeners who saw themselves reflected in his lyrics. They connected with his struggles, his triumphs, and his unyielding spirit. Through platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, his fans rallied behind him, spreading his music and ensuring that his voice was heard. But amidst the glitz and glamour of his rising fame, the harsh reality of his legal battles looms large. The outcome of the trial will determine not only his future, but also the trajectory of his music career. The potential for a life sentence in prison hangs heavily over his head, casting a shadow of uncertainty over his dreams and aspirations. As the trial approaches, the music industry and his fans hold their breath, anxiously awaiting the verdict. Let's look at K-Flock's story from the street point of view. Sevside, a neighborhood located around East 187th Street in the Bronx, has a long and tumultuous history of gang activity. For years, the streets of Sevside have been ruled by the Hilltop Young Bosses, also known as HTBs, a notorious gang that has established its dominance through violence and intimidation. But Sevside is not the only neighborhood with a strong gang presence. The HTBs have formed alliances with crews from Mount Vernon and Hilltop, creating a network of power and influence that extends beyond their immediate surroundings. These alliances have allowed the HTBs to expand their reach and establish a presence in other parts of the Bronx. One such crew that emerged from Sevside is 700 DOA, a formidable force made up of various sub-gang sets. The Macbala Brims and Intercourse Money Bloods are just a few of the groups that make up the ranks of 700 DOA. Additionally, they have forged connections with other gangs like the Rolling 80s, further solidifying their influence in the Bronx. The politics of Bronx gangs are complex and ever-changing. Alliances and friendships are formed and broken often, driven by a desire for power and control. It is not uncommon to see former allies become bitter rivals as the pursuit of dominance takes precedence over loyalty. Alongside his friends, Dog B and B Love, K-Flock found solace in music, using it as an outlet to express the harsh realities of life in the Bronx. Inspired by Chicago drill rapper Rondo No. 9, B Love encouraged K-Flock and Dooge B to pursue rap as a means of escaping the streets. B Love saw the potential of music as a way out, a chance to rise above the violence and poverty that surrounded them. However, the music proved to be just as treacherous as the streets they came from. Internal beefs between Bronx rappers became complicated and dangerous as alliances were formed and broken. K-Flock had alliances with other rappers like Shaw and I-Dot, forming a united front against their rivals. But as K-Flock's music career began to take off, he remained deeply involved in the streets. He was not content with simply rapping about the violence. He wanted to prove himself as a true gangster. Every day, K-Flock and his gang would drive around looking for rivals. He'd livestream the whole thing, which doesn't make sense because he was famous in the music scene at the time, and he wasn't supposed to be doing this. When he spotted a rival, Flock didn't just record for attention. He'd stop the car, get out, and confront them. K-Flock had a reputation for being confrontational and violent. Despite his success, he didn't shy away from danger and would actively seek out conflicts, even going to the neighborhoods of those who challenged him. This behavior was evident in some of his videos that found their way to the internet. While we watched these confrontations on screen, there were even more dangerous situations happening off-screen, leading to real-life consequences. In one of his songs, Is You Ready?, released in August 2021, he mentioned incidents that hinted at serious conflicts with rivals. He said, "Go ask my ops, it get ugly. I could do shh like Ice did to Sonny. Like, think I'm lacking? That N-word a dummy. He think I'm a rapper. He think this expletive funny. Like, okay, dumb both ways. Like, flip through the fours while I'm yelling out, Dubski, don't run, don't trip. They know my body, Mr. Throw more than 6. Like, on a revel or a lift. Hop out gang, I bought him and his expletive. Digging into the backstory, this references the movie Paid in Full, where Sonny's Uncle Ice betrays him. Now, it turns out K-Flock had a serious feud with a relative, DT Thong, who happened to be his cousin and associated with the YGZ gang. DT acknowledged the indirect message aimed at him, confirming their disagreement in another video. Their conflict traces back to the rivalry between the YGZ and OGZ, which continued with K-Flock's subside group due to their ties to the OGZ. Behind the scenes, the feud resulted in casualties. Specifically, K-Flock's associate, 13-year-old J Rip, became a victim in July 2021. He was attacked by rivals on East 187th Street, near Prospect Avenue in the Belmont section. They approached him, brandished a weapon, and fired shots. J Rip was shot in the leg and chest near Angel's Cafe while with a friend, who managed to escape. He ran into the cafe, but sadly died at St. Barnabas Hospital. Police revealed that Jay had a history of arrests, including for and assault. The shooting was said to be in retaliation for the earlier gang-related of Tyquil Derry. A 16-year-old was later arrested as the shooter. However, this was after K-Flock's Sevside group had retaliated for their friend J Rip's death. D-Thunk's associate, who had been disrespecting K-Flock a week earlier, got what he asked for. The retaliation was quick and brutal, targeting a guy named Ramon Gil Madrono, also known as Rag, just hours after J Rip's death. He was reportedly heading to a recording studio when he was shot. K-Flock and D-Thang were later seen dissing each other on live videos about their deceased friend. Despite everything happening, you might expect K-Flock to slow down, but he didn't. He was still actively involved, looking for rivals, having confrontations with the police, disrespecting enemies, and being ready to harm anyone who disrespected him. He claimed the title of the King of the Bronx, leading to a dispute with another rapper, Ron Suno, which escalated to physical altercations and theft of personal belongings. The two had an online feud that turned into a physical fight at Rolling Loud. Security got involved, and it became a chaotic brawl. Videos show punches being thrown, and even security joined in. After the fight, both sides bragged online about winning. They posted videos claiming they beat the other side, with each side saying they were the victors. They even shared pictures to taunt each other. Ron Suno said he knocked out some teeth and showed his bloody knuckles as proof. The situation escalated as Ron Suno released a video mocking Flock's crew. Fortunately, no lives were lost, but tensions remain high. Despite his success in music, especially performances at events like Rolling Loud, there are concerns that K-Flock's involvement in street life could jeopardize his achievements. Many rappers have dealt with or are dealing with RICO charges. Some receive short sentences like 3 to 5 years. In fact, let's explore other rappers in similar situations. There's no bigger name to kick off this list than Thugger, known for his unique style and chart-topping hits. Young Thug's rise to fame seemed unstoppable. However, his success took a dark turn when he found himself at the center of a high-profile RICO case. The case against Young Thug revolves around his alleged involvement in a criminal organization known for its illegal activities, including violence and According to court documents, authorities have been investigating YSL for years, and their findings have led them to Young Thug as a key player. The prosecution claims that Young Thug used his influence and connections within the music industry to facilitate the organization's criminal activities. They allege that he acted as a conduit for transactions, using his tours and music releases as a cover for illegal operations. The authorities have presented evidence, including intercepted phone calls and financial records, to support their case. While Young Thug's legal team vehemently denies these allegations, the evidence against him is mounting. The prosecution has brought forward witnesses who claim to have first-hand knowledge of his involvement in the organization's activities. They allege that Young Thug not only participated in but also played a role in orchestrating acts of violence to protect the organization's interests. If convicted, Young Thug could face severe consequences. RICO charges carry significant penalties, including lengthy prison sentences and hefty fines. Moreover, the impact on his career and reputation could be irreparable. Another rapper caught in the crosshairs of a RICO case is Casanova. In the realm of hip-hop, Casanova's name has been linked with his music and his formidable persona. However, everything came to an abrupt stop when he confronted serious accusations, which he ultimately confessed to.
The U.S. Attorney's Office claims Casanova led the untouchable guerrilla Stone Nation Bloods gang and directed a multi-state conspiracy in that role.
It's been almost a year since Casanova's sentencing, yet his intense reaction to his prison term remains unforgettable. On December 1st, 2020, the music industry was stunned by news of his arrest. The feds had posted on social media, seeking help to locate the 36-year-old rapper, who was wanted in connection with an 18-person indictment against the notorious untouchable Guerrilla Stone Nation gang. The charges included racketeering, narcotics, firearms, and fraud offenses. The rapper's fans and followers were left in shock, grappling with the allegations against their beloved artist. By December 2nd, Casanova had still managed to evade capture, prompting authorities to treat him as a fugitive. In a desperate bid to locate him, they even tweeted his picture, informing the public they were on the lookout for Caswell Sr., aka Casanova, in connection with the case. The tweet emphasized the seriousness of the charges he was facing. However, just a day after that tweet, Casanova made a surprising move. He turned himself in at the Midtown South Precinct in Manhattan, voluntarily surrendering to the authorities. The news of his surrender spread like wildfire, leaving fans and critics alike wondering about the events that led to this moment. Before he turned himself in, a video surfaced on social media posted by Casanova's wife, Swaggy Jazzy. In the video, Casanova is seen smoking a cigarette, seemingly calm and collected as he speaks to his wife. He assures her that he will be back soon, declaring his love with the words, "I love you like cooked food." Swaggy Jazzy reciprocates the sentiment, standing by her husband's side and maintaining his innocence until proven guilty.
Going in, baby, I love you like cooked food. I'm a whole gangster, tough dude. I'll see you soon. I love you like cooked food.
I love you too.
The video and Swaggy Jazzy's post sparked a wave of support from Casanova's fans, who rallied behind him, echoing the sentiment that he was innocent until proven guilty. They called to fight for his freedom and questioned the validity of the charges against him. With Casanova now in custody, the focus shifted to the legal proceedings that awaited him. The charges he faced were grave, and the potential consequences were severe. The rapper's arrest sent shockwaves through the music industry, leaving many wondering about the future of his career and its impact on the hip-hop community. After Casanova's surrender, his legal team made efforts to secure his release from the Westchester County Jail in Valhalla, New York. His lawyer proposed a bond package worth $2.5 million, which included various conditions such as home detention, geographic restrictions on travel, electronic monitoring, and the surrender of his passport. Casanova was determined to prove that he would not flee and was willing to offer offer 5 properties as collateral. However, the prosecutors vehemently objected to Casanova's release on bail. They scoffed at a post he had made on Instagram before turning himself in, where he claimed that the police were targeting him due to his successful music career and provocative lyrics. The prosecutors argued that his involvement with the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation gang ran much deeper than mere promotion on social media. To support their objections, the prosecutors presented evidence from Casanova's Instagram account and iCloud history. The defendant left little doubt that the wealth and notoriety he accrued would be used to promote a street gang that was committed to violence, Assistant U.S. Attorney Shiva Logaraja wrote. The prosecutors argued that Casanova posed a significant danger to the community if released on bail. They contended that his associates were committing acts of violence and that Casanova had the ability to manipulate gang members to carry out his bidding without directly involving himself. They also highlighted his delayed surrender, pointing out that he did not turn himself in immediately when the charges were announced. Geolocation data from his phone indicated that he dropped it and only surrendered after speaking with his lawyer and leaving New York for Atlanta. The prosecutors believed that this behavior demonstrated a potential flight risk. He did not simply pretend to be violent in his music or on social media, the government wrote. Unfortunately, he walked the walk. Senior's offense conduct is not about a few song lyrics or how he marketed his music. Rather, he carried out an array of violent activity and significant narcotic that benefited some of the gang's most violent and impactful members. Despite Casanova's attempts to secure his release, the prosecutors remained steadfast in their objections. They emphasized the severity of the charges against him and the potential danger he posed to the community. The battle over bail showcased the intensity of the legal proceedings and the high stakes involved. As Casanova's trial approached, the weight of the charges against him became increasingly apparent. Facing the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars, the rapper and his legal team carefully considered their options. Ultimately, they decided to pursue a plea deal with the prosecution. In May 2022, Casanova stood before the court and entered a guilty plea to counts of racketeering, conspiracy, and narcotics. So the same can happen with K-Flock as well.